Elon Musk, that's him there. He has just bought Twitter. The world's richest man aggressively increased his bid for the social media company to $44 billion following his decision earlier in the month to try and buy it. Earlier this morning, he stated the reasoning on his platform. This was before the takeover. He said that he hopes even his worst critics remain on Twitter because that is what free speech means. Well, joining us for more on that is Rush Digital founder Danu Abusiri. How are you this morning, Danu? So is this deal signed, sealed, delivered? Do shareholders still have to vote? How does it work?
Yeah, so there's probably going to be a shareholder voting process, and the board has kind of made a recommendation that it's a good deal. It is marked around 40% cash premium over what the company's worth, and the company's performance over the last sort of 10 years, it's only been profitable 2 out of the last 10. So I think Elon has also said, and a lot of people have said, that Twitter has a lot of potential. It's 271 million active users, daily active users. It's a good user base. And yeah, Elon Musk has said he's going to focus on some of the premium features. But he has said that he's not interested in the economics of the deal, which is a really strange thing to say for such a large deal. And he's talked about it being, the reasons being really for free speech, to be a platform that's open to be able to speak freely, I guess. Yeah, so he's saying that it'll be focusing on things like eradicating fake accounts, relaxing content restrictions. Do you know any of the other changes that are in store? Yeah, he's got a couple of cheeky tweets about removing spam bots and things like that. I think it's interesting that, you know, Elon Musk, he's very technology savvy, right? So I think there is a good potential for him to achieve some of these things and make the platform useful. But yeah, he has repeatedly stated that, you know, the free speech angle is the thing that he's most interested in. If it's not for commercial reasons, what does he want to get out of this? Is it concerning at all for, you know, a company to go private, a huge communication platform to basically be in the hands of one person? Yeah, I think when you look at it as an individual context, and because he hasn't really been in media, it looks a little strange. But I think a lot of people didn't question when Jeff Bezos took over Wall Street Journal. Rupert Murdoch controls a lot of the media already. So, you know, it is arguable that we shouldn't be that concerned. But at the same time, Elon's a loose cannon. So, yeah, I think trying to predict what he's going to do will probably keep you up at night. And what about do you remember the Christchurch call? Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister, went over to Paris and called on tech companies and governments to eliminate extremist content online and to really, I guess, crack down on some of that extreme rhetoric. What's it going to mean for that? Yeah, I think there's a lot of philosophical debate to be had about this, because if you look at sort of Twitter's approach to the Capitol Hill riots, they blocked Donald Trump. And what did he do? He went off and started creating his own social media platform, which is just going to attract a whole bunch of right-wing people, and they're going to be insulated. So there is an argument for sort of keeping the platform equitable for everybody so that everybody's voice gets heard. But yeah, it's going to be challenging. And I think everyone sort of agrees that these tools like Twitter, they have a huge amount of influence, and they do need to be carefully monitored, if not aggressively regulated. Which they're not at the moment, right? This is one of Elon Musk's points, that you have these algorithms, these mystical algorithms that block certain content, well, not necessarily even block, but push content down to the bottom of the you know, piece of paper, so you don't even read it, right? And they won't tell us what those algorithms are. They won't tell us whether it's somebody with a right of centre viewpoint that's pushed down or left of centre viewpoint that's pushed up, whatever it might be. And he wants that stuff made public. Yep, he's gone so far as to say he even wants to open source the algorithm. And if you think about the impartiality of the media in democracy, it's actually a really good perspective. And to have... What does that mean, open source the algorithm? So basically, you know, computer programs are written using software and algorithms, basically, but they're closed source, so only the developers have access to that. The algorithms. So anyone could change the algorithm? So what he's saying is he's going to publish the source code. It doesn't mean they're going to use it. It's coding, isn't it? Exactly. Yeah. So he's going to let everyone. He's talking about letting everybody be able to see the code, so that other programmers can come in and independently scrutinize the software and say, when this happens, I can see in the code that this is the result. And he's also talked about doing things like making the algorithm more transparent. So in the tweet, actually,
making it human readable to say, actually, this person has left of center views, or this person has, or the algorithm has ranked this for revenue, or the algorithms have ranked this for relevancy.
Yeah. That will be interesting.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, for people who aren't into programming, what is that going to mean? Are we going to be quite surprised about how this works? Because it's not just Twitter. Yeah. There's kind of these algorithms go on. Do you think it will be quite eye-opening?
I think people realise to a degree that revenue and advertising is one of the key drivers for social media, right? And I think putting it front and centre, if you're reminded about that in the moment that you're deciding to reply to a tweet or while you're emotional, I think is very valuable. So I think, I think it will be eye-opening for most people, even though we know that.
Yeah. Totally. Transparency. It's like being at the supermarket and they tell you where to look on the shelf, They want to push something, it's in the middle. They don't want to, it's down the bottom. So it's going to be more transparency for what you see on your social media
sites. You're going to go home with more Wheat Bix and less Cocoa Pops.
Pretty much. Depends where you're looking.
Rush Digital founder Danu Abasere. Thank you very much, Danu.